Hello again folks, it's Mel at Stocksbridge Guitar Tech. I've got another video for you today. I'm going to be reviewing this SC-400 from Harley Benton, which I received last week. I got this, and if you remember, I also got a white SG style guitar. I just had a very quick look over them, a quick listen to them. So this is going to be a bit more of an in-depth review, and I'm going to share my thoughts on this guitar. This guitar, very budget conscious. It was £115. I believe it's still £115 on Thoman's website. If you were to just order the guitar, this and nothing else, you'd also have £8 shipping in the UK, making it £123. But I got free shipping because I ordered both guitars. So this has got some good reviews on the Thoman website, which is why I bought it. So I'll tell you about the good things first, the things that I like about this guitar. Well, I like the look of it. I like this finish. It's a matte, satin matte black finish. I like the neck. The neck's really fast. Your hands don't stick to this neck at all. It's also nice and comfortable. I like the fact that all the pots, the volume and tone controls, they all work on this guitar. They're not just on-off switches, which you do sometimes get on Harley Bentons. The switch also seems to be working great at the minute. I've had no end of problems with the switches from Harley Benton. They don't seem to last 5 minutes. This one seems to be working fine. Only time will tell. I really like the humbuckers on this guitar. They're unbranded. I don't know what they are. It doesn't specify on Thoman's website. It just says 2 open coil humbuckers. And this neck on the guitar was as straight as an arrow. Very unusual for a guitar in this price range. So I'll just go over the specs quickly again for you. So it's a basswood body, a maple neck, roseacre fretboard. It's got 22 standard nickel silver frets, close-on style tuning pegs, Tunematic style bridge and stop bar, usual 2 volume and 2 tone controls, no coil tap or anything on this guitar, and a 3-way toggle switch. I also like the back of the neck here, which allows for better access up to these higher frets with that way it's carved. It's a very nice feature on the Harley Benton guitars. I also like the weight of this. It clocks in at just over 3 kilograms, and by contrast, my Harley Benton Gold Top there, that's a kilo and a bit heavier than this. That's 4.2 kilos. This is something like 3.1 kilos. So it's nice and light. If you're going to use it live, for example, where you stood on a stage all night with this on a strap. Les Pauls can get a bit heavy when you're my age anyway, but I don't play live anymore, so those are the things that I like about the guitar. So what don't I like? I think this finish is going to mark really easily, because when I was doing some work on the guitar, I had it in my neck cradle, which is lined with cork, and it has managed to scuff the back of the neck. The camera won't even pick it up. It's nothing really, but I got the impression that this finish maybe won't stay on the guitar for too long. So if that's something that's important to you, if you want your guitar to look spanky and new all the time, you might want to look at something else. The tuners are okay. They're not fantastic, but they're okay. they keep the guitar reasonably in tune, and they're quite smooth in action. Problems I had. First of all, this toggle switch nut was missing, as I showed you last week. That's an easy fix, so not really a problem. When I took the strings off and I took the stop bar off and the bridge saddles, I found out that all 4 of these screws were very loose, and I mean very loose. There was a lot of play in them, so I fixed that using some PTFE plumber's tape, the white stuff that's very thin. I wrapped that around the screw threads and screwed them back in, and that tightened them up. Again, not a big job, but if you're someone who's a beginner, you're not going to know to do that. And this is obviously at this price point probably aimed at beginners. As I said, all the volume and tone pots work. I thought the tone pots were a little bit dark when you roll them all the way off, but that's really only if you're playing chords, and you tend not to play chords with them rolled off. They're actually quite usable. If you're just playing lead tones on the guitar, you can roll them right back and get some nice tones, so that's great. So now let's talk about the worst thing on this guitar, without a doubt, was the frets. These are the worst frets I've ever had on any new guitar, Harley Benton or otherwise. Usually Harley Benton frets are pretty good, they're not usually bad. Even on the cheaper end guitars, these were atrocious, I've got to say. Many of them weren't seated properly, they were sticking up on the ends, so there was a gap between the bottom of the fret and the fretboard. So I've had to hammer those back down with a fretting hammer. And then when I checked them for level, they were really bad. There was a lot of high frets, so I've had to mask the fretboard off and do a complete level and recrown, which again, if you don't do your own work on guitars, you're not going to be able to do that. And if you took it to a shop to have that work done, it would cost you probably as much or more than what you'd paid for the guitar. So something to be aware of. Also, the fret edges were really sharp, especially up here on this edge. They were really sharp, and if you sort of slid up the neck quickly, you could have cut your fingers. So I've had to dress the fret edges as well, and they're nice and smooth now. It comes fitted with a cheap plastic nut, so I changed that while I was doing the work anyway. It's now got a bone nut on this guitar, which is much better. But yeah, the frets were really bad. So you're probably thinking at this point, why didn't I return the guitar? Well, first of all, I knew that I could do the work, but secondly, because of that nice straight neck and the way this feels and plays, because of the way it sounds, the pickups are great. That's why I decided to keep it and do the work myself. To be quite honest, I think what's happened here is that this was a B stock guitar. It does have, on the back of the headstock, it has a sticker saying quality control pass. How this got through quality control, I'll never know. With that nut missing there, with the condition of the frets, I really don't know how it got through quality control. I think this was a B stock guitar, and the reason I'm saying that is when I ordered both these guitars, this was in stock. The YSG was out of stock, and there was a 3 to 4 weeks wait. So I just said to Tom, and just send me both guitars when the YSG comes in stock. And about a week before I received the guitars, I got an email from Toman saying that the YSG was now in stock, but this one was out of stock, and this one would be 3 to 4 weeks. So I wasn't too happy about that. I was a bit puzzled. So I emailed Tom and said, what are you talking about? This was in stock when I ordered it. Why is it out of stock now? Didn't you know, put it on one side? And then strangely I got another email the next day from Torman saying your order has been shipped. So I thought, well, we've gone from a 3 to 4 week wait for this guitar to your order has been shipped in 1 day. And then when I've looked more closely at the guitar and found how bad the frets were, the fact that that nut was missing, or not missing, but it was the wrong nut, I thought this is probably a B stock, because I did notice that they had got one of these on B stock. So I'm guessing that someone's returned this guitar. Torman's had a dig around in the back in the warehouse, found this and thought we'll just send him that. If that's the case, Torman, shame on you. That's very naughty. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm guessing. If this was a brand new guitar, then just be aware that if you do buy this guitar, you're probably going to have some work to do on it, or get some work done on it. So you're going to have to spend a bit of money on it if you can't do the work yourself. So just bear that in mind. Having said that, now that I've done that work on the guitar, it's playing great, it sounds great. The setup was good out of the box with the plastic nut. There was nothing wrong with that plastic nut. It was cut really well. I just don't like plastic nuts, which is why I've changed it. So the setup was okay. The action was just a little bit high for me personally. It was perfectly playable straight out of the box. The intonation was spot on. I've not touched the intonation on this guitar, and it's that's the neck pickup. So the intonation's really good on the guitar. The pickups, as I said, they sound great. So I've got this on a high gain sound on the Ampero, and I've just got the volumes rolled down. So it does clean up quite nicely as well. So I really like the sound of these pickups. They are quite gainy, but on this kind of guitar it's kind of what you want. So that's really the video for today. I just wanted to give you my impressions of this guitar. As I said, I really like the guitar now. Now I've got it playing right, but I have put hours of work into this, especially on those frets. So just be aware that if you do decide to buy this particular guitar, just be aware of the issues that I've raised. The fact that I think this finish might damage really easily. Missing a nut on there, I was probably just unlucky there. I would imagine that's not going to happen on every guitar. Everything else works fine. The pickups sound good. The pots all work, both volumes, both tones, do what they're meant to do. So like I said, you can get some nice lead tones by turning those tone controls down and mixing and matching the volumes. The volumes work as well. Sorry about that, my camera battery died there. Yeah, as I was saying, I see no reason to change the pots, the switch or the pickups at the minute. they're all working fine. So anyway, that's my video for today. As ever, if you got anything out of it, you enjoy these videos, leave a like, a comment. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. I'd be grateful if you'll help me do that. But that's all for this week. Next week we'll have a look at this white SG. I haven't played this guitar at all since last week, so I'm not really knowing what to expect. I haven't checked the frets. I haven't done a setup on this at all yet, so I'm hoping, because it was a more expensive guitar, I'm hoping the frets are going to be okay on that, but we'll see. I'll let you know that next week. That's all. Take care and bye for now.